Anyways, good morning, fellas. How are we doing today? Happy Monday to everybody. I'm going to start off by buying 58 quick balls to put me at an even 200 because I have some plans to do today. We're going to be single encounter shiny hunting as per usual. 53,298 encounters dry is what I'm heading into the stream with. We're going to be heading over to Hoenn. We're going to be sitting in Petalburg Woods because I actually really want to try a money-making method that'll get its own video. I want to try quick balling Shroomish while sort of shiny hunting there. Petalburg Woods is already one of the best spots in the game to shiny hunt, but you can also make money along the way. It could be super good, and I'm excited to test it, so we're gonna see how that goes. Other than that, good morning. Pat Shiny when? Dude, hopefully today, okay? We're gonna see what happens. Still on Deino, got 2 days left of that, with plenty in like the back storage, the bag. I made a really big project today as a video, which I'm really excited for it to eventually release. That'll hopefully help some new players. Let's grab a swarm Pokemon and get cooking. Yeah, speaking of my weekend, I went really hard this weekend on the Pokemon Go Community Day, the Bagon. I did pretty decently. I think I got like 13 or 12 shiny Bagons. Not great. Could have been a lot better, but not bad. I ended up with two 3-star shiny Bagons and then a couple more. No Shundos or Hundos or anything. But I've been really enjoying it. I kind of get back into Pokemon Go every couple years or so during the summertime. Kind of just ends up happening. All right, anyways, I think I'm ready to go ahead and start my loot for 1 hour of Shroomish. So I'm going to start my timer now. Wish me the best of luck. If you want to see how it went, make sure to go check out that video, which hopefully should be uploaded probably after this stream recap. Well after, I'm not going to lie. So one day you'll see the results. I've been getting a lot of comments recently, and I understand why, of people just being like, hey man, what's going on with Wishing Stone? And like, I get, obviously those comments are better directed at the developers. I'm not a developer. I don't have any like new news on this. I'm the same way. I want the Wishing Stone to do something, but it is kind of funny. It's very PokeMMO developer fashion for the Wishing Stone for like 3 months later now. They'll have no use. A lot of people spend a lot of time on that grind, and it's still a useless item sitting in our bag. How do you feel about catching Deino for profit nowadays? I'd have to test it. It's been a while. I'd really like to get back to the loot for 1 hour stuff. Deino might be really good. Because actually, I don't know. Hydreigon got the Draco Meteor access, but then it got banned again out of PvP. So I don't know if I don't know. I'd have to test it. Deino's kind of a weird one. You can't really get consistently that many encounters per hour. My intuition says that Deino wouldn't be that great, but it kind of depends. Now, something like Gibbles, I really want to test loot for 1 hour of Gibbles. That could be super good, just because obviously you can't really catch that many consistently or find that many consistently Gibbles, but Garchomps are just such a high demanded Pokemon that I think it might be worth it. My team is having a shiny war, and the price of shiny charms just increased by 8,000 Pokeyen, even though it's still 3 weeks away. Very interesting. Dude, how small factors can make a decent impact on prices. If you have like a full team, like 150 active people, right? You have to think about like, let's say you have 100 people. If you have 100 active people in a team, right? And then all of those 100 people, let's say only need like 3 shiny charms each, which is very, very low. That's 300 shiny charms. This is like turbo on the low end, right? Turbo assuming the super low end, right? Even with that low end assumption, you would need 300 shiny charms on the market, which is like which is more than are on right now. So for big events like that, yeah, the shiny charm market and dinner statuses and stuff can get cranked up pretty quickly, which is always funny to see. It's always cool to see, like, during Mr. Shiny Wars, Mr. Shiny Wars, unironically, is such a boon to the economy. It allows other players to make more Pokeyen because all of the best shunters are so willing to spend their Pokeyen for fun little community events. Community events can be some of the best things in the game. They're fun, they get people excited, they're interesting, they get you to care about things more, and they help the economy. It's just a win-win-win-win. I think also one of the best money-making methods, 100%, dude. I was new to the game during the Lunar New Year event, and I was done. Most of my friends had made like 3 times my profit due to having 4 alts. Even if you're like super new to the game, if you have like a couple alts just done, like half a storyline or 1 storyline done, having that ability to like catch more alphas or do like all the event little trips, like rotations multiple times, oh my, it can be so powerful, dude. Like, you could even theoretically imagine you're a hyper new player, like you're starting day 1 of an event in PokeMMO. If you make 1 account and then have like 1 other device you can play on at the same time, so something like a laptop or a tablet or whatever, right? You could have both of those characters go do the for Lunar New Year event. It was like Abundant Shrine. There's like an Abundant Shrine little like dungeon type thing. You can run through that together on 2 accounts and you make double the money per hour, which, like, on one account, it was like 400 something or 400 to 600,000 Pokeyen per hour. So on 2 accounts at once, it would be like 800,000 Pokeyen per hour, right? And that takes a fair amount of mechanical skill and like some actual like game knowledge and learning. However, like you only need the 4th gym badge or so to do it. So you could theoretically like start day 1 from scratch, get 2 accounts to the 4th gym badge, and be making 800k Pokeyen per hour as a totally new PokeMMO player. One of the biggest deters of that is just effort in game knowledge. Like it's just difficult to do that, but anyone could technically do it, right? But like it's just a lot of like effort and energy. Do you think they'll ever introduce RU and Little Cup in the future? I hope so, man. I really hope RU or PU or RU and PU come to the game eventually. Little Cup actually was officially supported for quite a while, but that ended up getting removed. Like you used to be able to just like queue for Little Cup. Like you could like go to matchmaking, sign up, and just queue for Little Cup, which was super cool. But it kind of became a dead tier. PokeMMO PvP players are strange. So, not to, sorry for catching strays, but like I don't like that like everybody in PokeMMO pretty much just plays OU, which just is kind of cringe to me. Like if we go to look at PvP statistics, right? Like it's currently April 8th, right? So we're only 8 days into this season, and there's been 233,000 OU games, but only 8,000 UU. Like that's in like 13,000 NU. That is a wild difference. Now, these tiers aren't dead by any means, in my opinion. Like, that's like 1,000 games, over 1,000 games a day. That's pretty fucking good. But, like, OU players are built different. They do, like, I think most people just default to, like, OU as, like, the go-to tier. Which, I mean, it is probably, like, in terms of constructed play, OU is definitely the best tier to go to. But kind of only because OU players are the worst on average, in my opinion. A lot of people disagree with this, but I think it only logically makes sense. When you have the most people pushed into one format, on like the average 500 elo OU player is going to be way worse than the average 500 elo NU player, because that NU player chose NU because they specifically like NU, and they probably know the metagame a bit more. They're probably a bit more experienced. They probably like chose that tier based off of like some pretty off of some conclusions, versus OU is just the default that everybody starts at. But the same goes for the opposite saying, right? So like at 500 elo, OU players are probably going to be the worst players. But at like top 100, since there's so many players competing for that top slot, like the top 100 OU players are going to be like the best out of like any top 100 most likely. So it's important to say that as well. PvP is just so bad. If you want to progress, it needs buffs. You're literally better off catching Rattatas in Route 1. I get what you're saying. Like if you want to, PvP isn't really something in game you use for like progression. You're saying the rewards from PvP aren't very good, which is true. It's something I've said for a long time. However, I think it's okay for PvP to be like, you're not meant to learn and play PvP for any sort of like progress reward. It's kind of just for, it's like the end game goal. Like it's kind of like how you train up in like an MMO, you like train up all your stats and you do all these things to like be able to do the end game raid / the end game dungeon, and that sometimes has like the rewards, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if it needs to. I kind of like that you're pushed to just do PvP because you enjoy it, because you want to be the best. I think that's kind of cool. But I could also, and there's just good arguments on both sides, I could also understand it being more reward heavy. The reality is PvP like queue, like random or like what's it called, ranked PvP queue has very bad rewards. Like you get some free competitive Pokemon, but you kind of outpace those pretty quickly, right? Other than like the free PvP Pokemon, the rest of the rewards are pretty whatever. Like those aren't tradable and stuff as well, which is a huge problem. However, PvP tournaments have some of the best rewards. So if you start getting good enough in PvP, if you become that like 1% best PvP players, you can win insane rewards from PvP tournaments, like 5x31 shinies, and like, yeah, you can get some insane PvP tournament. If you go to like current tournaments, there's a doubles tournament coming up with a shiny Wingull, right? That's 3x31, 3x28. That's so good. Community Combat UU. There's going to be a competitive fortress given away. This UU tournament, you're getting a 6x31 EV, right? This tournament, shiny Rufflet, almost like perfect, right? Like you get some insane rewards from tournament play, but not that many players play tournaments because it's a different game. It's like the next level of extremely high skill level. Yeah, this is a great question from Blueberry. Any recommendations on which 31 IV to give my PvP gift Drudagon? I think I'm going to go Impish. Yep, Impish is definitely super good. I know people say that 31 speed is necessary, but probably not for him since he's so slow, right? Yes, Drudagon does not need the 31 speed. I would go, if you get like 2 31s, I would probably just go 31 HP, 31 defense. Drudagon's just, its main job is to be a physical tank, and you can get it to tank like physically defensive moves and put a Rocky Helmet on it, Rocky Helmet plus Rough Skin, and it just ends up chipping the hell out of Pokeyen. Like switching Drudagon into like a Mach Punch is super, super powerful, because you just do so like a quick attack, or one of the best things you can do is switch Drudagon into a priority move with lower attack. And again, they do that. They do very little damage to you, number one, and secondly, then take Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet damage in return, and you'll end up doing more damage to them than they do to you just for switching in. Is Ludicolo for raids a good idea? Ludicolo could be really good if there's like a raid where setting up rain is really good against it, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't think of, without rain, Ludicolo is just so much worse. So like, it's a cool Pokemon, being able to spam stab Giga Drain for sustain and big damage, and then stab Surf, or yeah, for in rain, it can be super good, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't see Ludicolo being very good for raids. I would say definitely probably not, but I could be wrong. I feel like they're probably gonna have to nerf the buff the Gyarados raid, because like the Gyarados raid was actually, for those who didn't play it, the Gyarados raid was ridiculously solved during the test. You could beat the Gyarados raid with literally only one Pokemon. And then you'd have 5 other Pokemon as a sacrifice switch. So what you would do is, you would have one Pokemon, usually Zapdos. Zapdos with Choice Specs, good IVs, good nature, and Volt Switch, right? So you would lead Zapdos, you would be faster than Gyarados and get off your Volt Switch, and then you would switch out to like a level 1. Well, it had to be like minimum level 60 or whatever to get into the raid, but you could like switch to like a level 60 Wurmple, for example. It literally doesn't matter. Like some shitty Pokemon. Let that thing die to the Gyarados, then safely bring back in your Zapdos, do the same thing. It's the Gyarados gets no like speed boost, so you're always gonna outspeed. So you just Volt Switch out again, do 10% or like big damage, switch out to a sacrifice, and then you just do that on loop. You can literally just have like 5 level 60 dog shit Pokemon, and then one Zapdos just obliterated the Gyarados. You only needed one Pokemon to effectively do the Gyarados raid. It was the craziest. I thought it was gonna be super. It was the most solved raid, in my opinion, even though it was supposed to be super, super strong. This is a great question. I had a team with 3 people during the raid test, but it wouldn't let me do the shrine event with only 3. Can you only do 3 on a team for raids with a 4th random? You will be able to once permanent raids are released. They actually talked about that. They didn't have time, they said. Like, with raids, when raids were beta tested, unfortunately, you could either solo queue or go in with a full link of 4, and that was it. You couldn't, like, fill out the rest of your team, which sucked. But thankfully, they did talk about how once they permanently release them, they will have enough time to actually add that feature. So you will be able to like queue into raids with like 3 people and then fill out the 4th with a random if you so choose with permanent raids release. Hopefully they should have that done by then. Pat, what would you recommend as a good and easy Pokemon to build around for OU PvP? I'm new to PvP. I almost recommend Rain to like any new OU PvP player. It does kind of fall off a bit once you get higher like elo and stuff, but I wouldn't worry about that for the time being. I think just starting with Rain is super good, and you'll actually squeeze out some wins and feel a little bit better jumping into PvP. Really easy Rain core I would recommend would be like Pelipper, Kingdra, and like Scizor. A lot of people don't think about Scizor or Ferrothorn, but those 2 Pokemon are extremely good in Rain because their only weakness is fire types. So when you weaken their only weakness with the rain weather, yeah, those Pokemon become super, super good. So like the 3 core that I recommend to all new PvP players in OU would definitely just be Pelipper lead with U-turn, Kingdra, Choice Specs, Hydro Pump, and then any variation of Scizor. Someone asked about an NU beginner team. That's a lot more complicated. Probably just Blaziken, Rotom. I was thinking Blaziken, Rotom, Sceptile is probably a really good core. Golbat and Steelix make for a really good defensive core, in my opinion. What I would do is I'd probably go Golbat, Steelix, Blaziken. That's probably and then like some more offensive stuff from there. But yeah, I really like that core a lot, honestly. You switch into Golbat if they try to Earthquake your Blaziken. You can go, if they try to Flamethrower your Steelix, you can honestly switch in aggressively into Blaziken or go into Golbat. Yeah, I like that trio a lot. The best thing PokeMMO can do is offer us one server for all and just give us channels. If they decide to make a new server, I think I'll quit. I feel like that's kind of like an old MMO thing. I don't think very many like new MMOs have like multiple servers, like World of Warcraft, you know? Like on each World of Warcraft server, there's like different economies, different levels of players, like different ratios of like Horde and Alliance. Like I feel like that's kind of like an old school MMO thing. I feel like most games nowadays kind of combine everything, which I like a lot more personally. I don't think that should be an issue at all, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of cool to talk about, I guess. Yeah, that's something I've talked about for a long time. Iron Man server. You wouldn't really need a separate Iron Man server because obviously if they're an Iron Man, they're not using the economy, so it wouldn't really matter. But dude, having an official Iron Man mode in PokeMMO, I think would be really cool. For those who don't know, Iron Man mode kind of comes from RuneScape. There's also a thing, I think Path of Exile has like self-sufficient mode or whatever. That generally means this is like this is a gameplay style that's gone over to a lot of games now. It generally means like you can't trade with other players or use the market or the economy in any way. It's kind of like a restrictive account. I think it'd be really, really cool in PokeMMO to see like people have like a little badge next to their name or like a little tag if they were like an Iron Man. Then it makes all of their shinies, it makes all of their Pokemon, all of their competitive Pokemon like that much more valuable. The fact that they would have to like catch all of their breeders to breed up like a 6x31, or even like imagine an Iron Man account having like a 5x31 or even like a 3x31 shiny. They'd have to actually breed OT shinies together to get that, which is really, really cool versus just buying non-OTs to breed with your OTs. An Iron Man would create for some really interesting, I think, like the dilemmas, and you'd have to play PvP to get choice bands and stuff as an Iron Man. Like there's some really cool things you truly have to explore and learn a bunch of mechanics you wouldn't normally be forced into as a main account. Yeah, or just official Nuzlocke mode. Like an official Nuzlocke mode where like they actually the game physically restricts you from catching more Pokemon past that first one on the route. Like I think an official, like I've said this for a long time, one of the coolest things PokeMMO could do and one of the biggest updates to set themselves apart from other Pokemon games would be to have an official Iron Man mode. That would be so incredible. Like imagine a Pokemon MMO with that official badge that means the game restricts you to Nuzlocke rules. I don't know how difficult that would be to code, but I think it's worth the dev time. I think that could be such an absolute game changer if people could go play like a multiplayer format where you can flex your like Nuzlocke adventures and flex like how far. Like imagine a super late game Nuzlocke account with like leaderboards or high scores and how cool that would be. It is kind of crazy PokeMMO doesn't really have any leaderboards. Obviously there's like the event leaderboards, but like we're an MMO, dude. We need leaderboards. We need more formal stats to shoot for to compete against. I think once again, leaderboards would be one of the most important updates. I think that's such a big deal to me. Okay, we're done catching Shroomishes, but I'm not going to calc the profits yet. I'm going to do that later off stream, so you guys will have to actually wait for the video to come out to see that. But I think it's more exciting and fun that way, you know? So I'm going to let this sit for now, and we're going to just full shiny hunt, I think. Now, actually, I do want to show you guys one thing. Let's collect this Pokeyen. I do want to show you guys the progress on the breeding extravaganza, because look at this. Box 1, box 2, box 3, and I even started a 4th box, which I didn't expect to do. The breeding extravaganza has been becoming larger and larger, so I'm excited to see what this is easily going to be the biggest breeding extravaganza yet, but I'm excited to see how big it could become. Yeah, this takes a lot of time to set up all these breeds, I'm not gonna lie. And there's just millions and millions of Pokeyen in these breeds. Like all the alphas and stuff, dude. There's like some rare alphas as well. Like there's an alpha Excadrill, that's like 400k minimum. There's an alpha, what's it called? Tyranitar breed in here, right here. There's an alpha Zorua somewhere, which is also super expensive. Alpha Gengar is also super expensive. There's some crazy breeds in here. Okay, I'm feeling weirdly lucky today. I want to go shiny hunt in Kanto. We're going to go Ruin Valley lore. I'm going to go Kanto. I'm going to go to the Squirtle spot. There's not like that many great encounters here aside from like, I mean, Abra's cool, but there's a times 5 for Kadabra. Like, it's not really that good. I do want an arena trap Pokemon on me for sure. Or the, we can just lead with that just in case of a shiny Abra, of course. It's super important to watch out for that. I'll go ahead and put the Spinnerack away for now. That's fine. I'm gonna pop lures here. I'm feeling lucky. I don't know why I'm feeling that green turtle shell coming my way. Okay, so it's not the best place to shine. It's a really good spot to honestly make Pokeyen at. but I want to go ahead and we're gonna sit here for today. No one want to buy my Squirtle boxes. Stuff like that is like just super specific. Like Squirtle boxes will sell, but you have to find someone who is willing to start a Squirtle shiny hunt, who hasn't bought all their boxes already. It's pretty hard to find that person at the right time, but they definitely do sell, but it's gonna be tough to find a buyer. People always ask me about my Psyduck whenever I stream PokeMMO, and it's just I just have RTX turned on for Psyduck specifically. What's that Pokemon the guy has next to the NPC? This like orange slab? That's a Mankey. Here, let me show you. It's because whenever it's sideways, it's 2D. So that's Mankey. What Pokemon's the best horde killer to buy and train while EV training other Pokemon using it to kill? I really like Pikachu. Like Pikachu with Sweet Scent. And Pikachu can learn Sweet Scent, Discharge, and Surf, which is really good. So it just covers a lot of different hordes. So I really like Pikachu personally to like kill horde mons, to level other mons. Okay, so people were asking questions about Prismatic Pearls in chat. So if you don't know, I should have a Prismatic guide somewhere. Prismatic Pearls are an item that you get from consuming shinies to like a certain NPC, and he gives you back Prismatic Pearls, and they're needed to transfer hidden ability access onto other Pokemon. So for example, I used like 3 Prismatic Pearls when I transferred hidden ability access from a shitty Ponyta onto my shiny Ponyta. That was super important. So at certain times when, if you can, like, for example, if you can buy a shiny Tentacruel for 1.1 million Pokeyen and trade it into this guy for 1.2 million Pokeyen worth of Prismatic Pearls, that's when it becomes beneficial to do so. But that time frame in the market is so slim, because once people notice that it's happening, they obviously go do it, and then it fixes the market. So Prismatic Pearls kind of operate as a bottom out price for kind of like a base price for shinies. It's very similar to High Alchemy and RuneScape, where like a rune plate body will never reach below 40,000 gold, because you can always out it for 40k gold or whatever it is, right? But someone asked, how many pearls do you get from a shiny? And that depends on the rarity of shiny. Different shinies will give you different amounts of pearls. But one of the coolest parts about that question is that people actually predicted what Pokemon would get hordes in Johto before Johto was released due to pearls. It was actually super interesting. I think it's like a lost to time. It was only like a year ago now, but like it was a lost to time sort of thing where people predicted that shiny Mareep was going to get a ×5 horde because it was only worth like 3 or 4 pearls to trade in. And at the time, it was like a safari only Pokemon. So they were like, what the hell? Like, why would it be that worth? So they actually predicted the future of like hordes and like shiny hunting methods because of those pearls, which was super funny. It was super interesting at the time. Yo, what's up, Pat? I'm shutting Archeops. It's been a nightmare. One fossil costs between 25 to 30k. Yup. And then to make them female costs an additional 21k. Yup, dude, they are. Yup. Archeops, those like Unova fossils are some of the most expensive hunts. I would love to go for the turtle at some point, but once again, it's just ridiculously expensive stuff, man. Good luck to you. I hope you don't go dry on it, dude. Best particle effect. I'm a huge fan of the Kanto Friends particle. Kanto Friends, shiny Kanto Friends particle. I like those a lot. I really like the, is it Hollow Moon? What am I thinking of? Moon? No. I have some of my Eerie Howl. It's like, it's very edgy, not even kind of. It's just like a red, like a blood moon. And then like a wolf howls in it. It's very edgy, but I think it looks really cool. I would recommend just checking it out. Anniversary cake particle effect. It's memey. This one's like funny because the cake makes a big like plop sound. It's kind of like a joke particle effect, but it's not bad. There's someone left a comment on a video that I vehemently disagree with, so I actually want to go ahead and talk about it and clear things up. Someone said, inflation currently has hit amulet coins really hard, going for 20k a pop. Heart scales for 8k a pop. Using this farming method with pickpocket weavile, blah, blah. Okay. The main point that I disagree with here and I take issue with is he says that inflation is the reason that amulet coins and heart scales have gone up in price. That's not true at all. A lot of people confuse, like, if something goes up in price, that doesn't mean inflation caused that, right? Inflation, yeah, it's demand bringing those two items up, right? Inflation means that an item there's not very many changes to supply and demand. It's just that the value of Pokeyen or currency has gone down. That hasn't really been happening recently. The thing why amulet coins and why heart scales have gone up in price is very explainable by supply and demand, right? Very basic stuff, right? The amulet coins have gone up in price because riches charms have gone up in price. So people need a new budget option. When riches charms go up in price, 75%, like these were like 40K or 45K like a bit ago during the event, right? When riches charms go up in price, reaching new historical high prices for these charms this close to an event, of course the budget option, the amulet coins, gone in price. And then heart scales have gone up in price because the mushroom maniac was deleted from the game and you can no longer use mushrooms to relearn moves. So now heart scales became the only item to do so, and that upped the demand on those a ton, right? This is like really, really basic, easy stuff. Just because something goes up in price doesn't mean it's inflation. This was definitely just an example of increased demand due to updates and changes. This was very clearly someone who had no idea what he was talking about, who just felt very confident in saying some stuff that was complete misinformation. Always be very, very careful when you give an opinion on something like this. I take a lot of pride in, like, I really try to qualify. I really try to, like, not spread misinformation. I really try to ask questions. I really, really recommend that. But yeah, hopefully that's a good explanation to why it's demand, not inflation. We're changing locations, fellas. I'm heading back over to Sinnoh. We're heading over to the Sudowoodo spot. Actually, honey trees. How do I forget every stream, dude? I'm 2 hours into the stream. Haven't done a single honey tree run. It's embarrassing. Let's get back on it. Okay, wait a minute. Hey, Pat, what's the new flavor you were edging us about when stream died? This is actually really funny, okay? So for lore pop purposes, last Thursday, I was talking about an insane new pizza roll flavor that I found at the grocery store that I want to try. I still haven't tried it. It's still in my freezer. I haven't tried it yet. And then my internet cut out and my stream ended right before I could say it. So I'm just going to come out and say it. Pizza rolls put out... Imagine if I could again. No, they put out an orange chicken pizza roll. How fucking crazy is that? I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if it's good. Like Chinese food style, like orange chicken in a pizza roll. I am so excited because it's either going to be really good or horrendous, and either way, that gets me hyped up. That's the food take of the day. Okay, I will say I am probably going to go ahead and go call it there, fellas. It's been a pretty fun stream. A lot of kind of stuff was done. Nothing crazy. A lot of just shiny hunting and stuff. Just still trying to break that dry streak, dude, at 53. We're going to be pushing 54,000 encounters next stream. I might do a few encounters off stream to maybe get that up to 54K. We'll have to see. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, like this video if you enjoyed it. That helps me a lot. Dislike if not. That's totally okay. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the content, if it's been informative or helpful throughout your PokeMMO journey and you can afford it, YouTube memberships, Twitch primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo do help out a ton. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Hey, thanks so much for watching the entire video all the way to the end. I really appreciate that, and I hope it was a positive asset to your day. And I also want to quickly say extra thank you to everybody whose name is on this list and goes above and beyond and allows me to do what I do. Thank you very much. Have a good one.